everybody, this is Boone Wyatt with the 323 Concept Furniture Restoration. Today we're going to be showing you how we go about stuffing cushions. We've got a seat core that needs replacement, and we've also got a back pillow that needs some fillers. So without further ado, let's jump right in and we'll show you how we go about doing those two things. Alright, so as y'all see, first we're going to start with the back pillow. The back pillow, if you haven't seen, we showed a video in the second part video series of how to remove and reinstall these backs. So refer to that if you need help knowing how to get this off. But as you see, this customer needs a little bit more filler in the bottom part of her cushion. So sometimes these are split into a couple different sections. We lucked out on this one. This one has a zipper on the bottom, but sometimes you have to open up some of the material on the backing. We also lucked out on this one. We've got access without having to remove anything into the back. But a lot of the times you'll see a dust cover of some sort as a sort of more of a decorative cover back here. So just very carefully get a staple remover, remove those, and you'll have access into your back. If you really need to, you can really pry this up. These use some metal decorative tack or metal tack strips along the side that hold this back panel into place. And if you pop those up, you can flip this whole thing over and have access to your whole backing. But for this purpose, we really just want to replace, or not replace, but add some filler into this lumbar area or the lower back area and give that a little bit more padding. So like I said, we lucked out. We have a zipper right here, and this material is just a polyfill material. So I'm going to grab my polyfill material and we're going to add a little bit back in behind this material to help give that some more fluff. Alright, so we are going to add some more cushion in behind the polyfill on this one. I just happen to have this old material that we had used in the past. So like I said, some of these will have a casing around them. This one does not, but like this is what you might see in some of them. And I personally feel like it's okay to add some filler just directly behind that. But if you'd like, you can always sew a casing around it to keep it as all one piece. We're going to add some polyfill back in behind this. Now if you need polyfill, I would recommend finding your local upholstery supply store, and just about any of them will have this polyfill material. You might check folks like Hobby Lobby might have some, Michael's, Hancock Fabrics, Joann's. Or if you have, like I said, a local specific upholstery supply store, that's where I would check first. They usually have great quality material that you can use. The benefit of having those casings wrapped around your polyfill is you don't risk getting it stuck in the zipper as you're opening and closing those. Okay. Oh, nice. And I think I'm going to reach down into the back, and we're going to add some into this middle area as well. The top area seems to be okay, so it doesn't really need any attention, but we're going to stuff just a little bit more into that back area for a little more comfort. That padding added, and just zip it back up, and good to go. All right, let's do the seat now. All right, so now we're going to go about replacing the foam core in the back of the seat. You would also need to remove the back to do this portion as well. Obviously, you wouldn't have access without removing the back. So get that back removed and refer to the video that I did on removing that if you need help doing so. This had an easy zipper access on the back side. Once you obviously get that unzipped, you'll be able to slide this out. This is what we're working with. This looks to be a 4, maybe even a 5-inch foam with a thin layer of Dacron wrapped over the top, and we'll get that completely replaced, and we'll show you how to do that. Okay, so I got my new piece of foam cut. It was a 5-inch polyurethane foam, and then we obviously put a little bit of Dacron over it, and that just sort of helps smooth out those hard edges. Now, if you're unsure about how to do that, if you find a local upholstery supply store, like for instance, I'm near the Waco area, so I go to Heart of Texas Foam and Fabric, and if I take in a piece of foam to her, she can tell me, she'll obviously measure it, see what size foam we need, and she can actually cut those on site. A lot of those places can cut them on site for you. Like if you've got an L-shape or even the T-shaped cushions, they can cut those for you. Now you're probably out of luck. You'll probably have to do it yourself on putting the Dacron on. But this is called Dacron, and it's almost looks like a biscuit type layering material, but it's a nice white filler or padding that goes over the top of foam core. And like I said, it just smooths out your edges, but they can sell those to you as well. And you would just need some foam and fabric adhesive to spray on the foam core and then put that over the top and just sort of cut it straight around your edges and you'll be good to go. Much better. All right, now I'm gonna turn this around so you can see it, but this is a lot better. But now we've got this huge void right here where the customer sits. So we're gonna extend the footrest out and we're gonna see about how to replace that, okay? So a lot of the times when you're having issues with that footrest sinking in, there's a small area about 1 foot by 3 foot, whatever the width of your recliner is, that has the padding in there, and most of the times they'll have a zipper access right here. So what we can do is just obviously open that up and sort of see what they've got in here. But whatever it is doesn't seem to be adequate. It seems like it's completely sinking in on her. It looks like they've just got polyfill in there. All right, so we've got that padding out of there, and the manufacturer has used polyfill, which over time it looks like it's just bunched up and became very matted. So we're gonna add that back into it. We'll put some fresh polyfill in there and we'll see if we can't get that fresh and new, and we'll add a little extra, that way it's a little more full. Okay, so I've got my big bag of polyfill here, and I should have mentioned this earlier, but you can also get this at your upholstery supply centers. So we're just gonna carefully get that back in there. And I don't know if you saw the top seat of that cushion, but it's sort of divided into 3 sections. So we'll just very carefully sort of add it in there, inspect it, see how it looks, and see if we need to add any more or take any out. When you're putting this in, you just want to be careful and be mindful that you want to try to get it into all those corner recesses. That's usually where the issues are, is they didn't ever get pushed into those corners. Better. And lastly, what we want to do is add some padding back into these arms before we put the back pillow back on. And once again, we sort of lucked out. This manufacturer has zippers going along the side here. Otherwise, you'd probably end up having to take your arm casing off and access that from the underneath side. So this worked out great. So basically, just have to unzip this here just like we did the other areas, and we're going to add a little bit more filler under there. Okay, we got both arms restuffed, so now we are ready to wrap this up and put our back on. All right, now this is the best part of my job where I get to test it out.